Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Laura. We've got Bunny next door. This is our third show, final show of today. It is our launch day, and we are launching a warm welcome, which is such a lovely collection. You can see there's so much in here. You've got the Dorsal card shape, which you can see here. You've got this beautiful, really unique, different shape card shape to start off with. And then you've got all of the florals to go with this as well. I am just going to say 35% of the stock of this has gone already. We did 2 shows earlier with Dave. We've also got the elegant words in there, so you can see those really lovely size sentiments. You've also got your florists flourishes in there as well. Such lovely grounding elements. You will use these so much. We did actually have somebody email in earlier. Can you remember who it was, Bunny? They said that they were actually getting an extra one of these so they can do double the amount of die cutting. Oh, was it Dave that read it out then? Yeah, so somebody messaged in to say that they'd bought the collection, but they were buying another one of these so that they could do twice as much die cutting, as this was going to be the one that they would use most. Then we've got branching out, which you can see next to it. So you've got that lovely tree there that you can add the branches on, and the birdhouses. You've got it, a light snack, so that lovely little squirrel there with all of his acorns. You can build those up. It's just such a lovely image. And then we've got foragers bounty there, these lovely mushrooms. The artwork on these is amazing, so detailed. And then you've got let's get ready to ramble. So you've got the boots and the hat and the little stool there, which is really lovely. Now I am going to quickly show you our card here. So this is item number 250901. The Triptych mirror card shape. Now this is on a show price of $29.99, which I think is amazing value for this die set. I'm going to flip it round. $44.99 is what this will go back up to. Friday, midnight on Friday. We are 55% of the stock of this has gone. So it has been extremely popular, and I can absolutely see why. It is such a lovely card shape, and one that you will use all year round. Every and any occasion you are going to be able to use that. It is such an ornate, detailed die. And then I'm going to quickly show you the perfect papers. So a warm welcome perfect papers here. You've got 38 sheets. You've got 300 GSM cardstock here. So great for your die cutting, for your card shape bases as well. You can see you've got that really lovely burgundy colour. You've got the creams in there, that orange colour, and your greens as well. And you've got the gingham check style, and you also have the daisy design in there as well. So you've got those 2 different patterns plus the solids in there as well. Now I'm going to grab you some samples. I'm going to start with this one that Pam made, so I can show you how that dorsal card shape actually comes together. So somebody did message in the earlier shows asking if it was flat. So you could post it like this, or you could post it like that. So it will fold flat in 2 different ways, so completely up to you. And then that will stand up just like that, which just looks amazing. You can see how the sentiment just fits onto the spine there perfectly, and you've got that lovely woven style aperture there that you can just decorate around, which just looks so lovely. And again, there's so many different ways you can actually use it. So this is kind of the exact way that the card has been designed to use. Then you could use it like this. So this one Janine has done, and you can see this is actually just a card using just 1/2 of the card shape, which I just think looks really, really pretty. And then I've got one here by Barbara. And Barbara has used the card, but she's put a card on the back of it so it actually stands up. But look at the detail, look at the artwork there. They're so incredible, and the flowers are the same. There's so much depth in the colouring of them. And then I've got one here by Vera, so another way of using that card shape, look. I think that's so pretty. And it's showing you how you could use it that way. To me, like that, with those florals and just the clean and crisp card shape, but that makes me think of like a wedding or sympathy, engagement, birthdays. It is. Bunny just said it's very calming. I completely agree. And then I've got one here by Vera. So you can see then this one again is giving you a different shape. So you've cut in off the base. So instead of having those bases on there, and then actually snipping away the like woven style aperture to give yourself that almost like a window aperture there. And then we've got one here by Barbara. They're so lovely, aren't they? Really, really pretty. And then I've got one more here using the collection. Okay, so I'm just going to pop these there. And then I'm just going to show you a couple of cards using the, I'm really struggling with that, Triptych card shape. So we can see them. So we've got one here by Janine. So you can see this one, you could have the panels coming back on to you, or you could do one like Barbara has done, where Barbara has cut into it and only used two. How pretty is that? Look how much detail, how much depth you can get on there. And then we've got one here by Vera. I don't know what it is. As soon as I see this in those creams and the whites, it made me think of like a baby card. You can absolutely use it as a baby card, but there's so many other occasions. That could be like the colour scheme of maybe like a wedding you go into. There's just so many different ways that you could mix and match them up. And like I said, that card shape, there is not a theme or occasion that you would not be able to use that with, because it's just a really innate frame that you can use. And actually, I didn't even notice earlier, you can see there that, was it Barbara? Did I say Barbara? I'm going to have to check now in case Vera has used, look, the stands on the bottom. So you can see how they will fit in there as well, because you do get the like bases that you could add into those compartments too. Right, shall we go through the boards so we can see what each one looks like? So we've got the dorsal card shape to start off with. One cut of your die cut of the die, and it's going to give you the complete base. Okay, so you've got your complete base. Your score lines are built into the die for you, so you don't need to get your scoreboard out. And then you can see you've got little slits over there. That is where this bit goes to add on to your sentiment. Your aperture with that woven design is built into your die. You've got all of those matte layers, so you can see what it's like built up. And then that you will just fold on itself, and that stands up like that. So you can see exactly how that comes together. So you've got all of your detail in the die set for you. So the die is doing all of the work for you, and you've also got the florals in there as well. So you can see you've got almost like your long bouquet, and then you've got almost like your grounding element, your centerpiece. You can build this up. Now the lovely thing with having those two in different ways like that, you can really build them together. So you could build them up, like if I just grab this one, so you could add that in and then maybe add another one. So you can just keep building them. You can change the shape of them. So you can see how you can just build them up, or even if you want them kind of like at an angle. So because you've got those different ones, you can just really have fun and play around with these. And then because you have so much decoupage in here as well, you can absolutely decoupage them up and really build them up. But you can also add them in. So like I showed you about adding in some more, you can tuck these decoupage pieces behind, add them in and really fill them out, and you can make them into whichever shape you want them to go into. Then you've got your elegant words. You've got those lovely sentiments. You've got the mats for them as well. You've got with cheer, wonderful, and fine friend. And the lovely thing with these, if you look at these ones, you can see you've got cut lines that go under the letters. So if this line that is sitting on has been designed to go there, so that sits perfectly on to the spine. So once you've cut the actual word out, that line there will fit perfectly on there. So you can put those on without the mats if you want to. If you want to use these with something else and you don't want this line there, you can follow those cut lines, and then that's going to cut this line off the bottom. So it's going to take the base away, so then you're just left with the words. You've got that on the 3 of them. So you've got options with that. Then you've got branching out. I love this one. You've got that lovely tree and the branch. The branch will fit in there if you want to add it in, or you could build it up and around, completely up to you. And then I love the fact that you've got the leaves. So you can see you've got those different leaves there that you could build in together, or you could make it more autumn themed. You can make it more like spring, summer, obviously depending on what your card you're doing. And you've got your little birdhouse there as well, which I just think is so cute. Then the florist flourishes. This I think is probably the one that you will use with every single card that you do, because you've got all of your tuck-in elements on here. You've got bits that will be hanging from behind the tree, bits that you can add in behind your flowers, all of your grounding elements. I think almost like every card that I've looked at has one of these elements somewhere on there. They are just the most usable ones that you will use. All of your scenes, all of your florals that you already have at home are going to work with these so well, because they're just going to fit in and around everything. Then our Forager's Bounty. I love this. It is so detailed. Look at the artwork. It just jumps off the page. So detailed. Look at the light, the shading. It is so lovely. It's such a, I don't know, do you know when you look at it, like the artwork and the mushroom, I don't know, there's just something like story-ish, fairy tale-y. It's just like, I don't know, it's just really cheerful when you look at it. There's something wholesome about it. Yeah, I don't know what the word is either. Nostalgic? Yeah, it could be that. Then we've got a light snack, which is just so cute. Look, he's got all his little acorns. You've got another one that you can decoupage up as well, but he is just so cute. Will fit in with the scenes perfectly. And then let's get ready to ramble. So you've got your hat, you've got your walking boots there, and you've got that little little stool there as well. So they're going to be great for, I know somebody messaged in the last show saying that they'd ordered this and they've got lots of friends that love going out walking. So this would just be perfect for that. And then I am going to quickly show you as well the Triptych mirror card shape. So you can see it is such a big die, such a lovely size card shape. Now you can see how they can just pop out, and you can have it like that, or equally you could have them go into the back as well. You've got the ovals there with that lovely frame, and then you've got your tag. These are those base pieces that you could add onto the bottom. So if you wanted like a little stand to build your scene on top of, you've got that. And then you've got this tag, almost like a ribbon. So you've got score lines there. So you can fold those in on themselves, and it gives you that really nice oval. So it looks like a bit of like ribbon that's been threaded around. So again, such a lovely one. When you look at the design, you know, it is such a ornate, royal, it's really lovely, really detailed, such a lovely one. If I showed you that cut out in gold mirror card, you'd instantly think I was making a Christmas card or a wedding card. If I did it in black, maybe you'd think I was making like a Halloween card. White cards, you know, they're going to be great for absolutely every occasion, every season, every theme. it is perfect. So for $29.99, I can see why. What were we, 50%? Oh, she's checking. I think we were 50%. 55% of the stock of this has gone, which I am not surprised. For $29.99, I think that is such a good price. It is going to go back up to full price though, our midnight on Friday. So if you do want to get this while it's on that show price, don't miss out, because we have 55% of the stock has gone. Right, I'm just going to move that. There you go. And let's get let's get down. Right, so we're going to start off with the Dorsal card shape to begin with. Now I've just run this through my die cutting machine, and you've got your complete card there. Okay, now I haven't scored this yet, so you can see your score lines are built in to the die, so you don't need to get your scoreboard out or anything to make this card. The score lines are built in. So once you've run it through your die cutting machine, just fold everything back on itself. You know, I would burnish it with your score tool, but just for speed. And then one pass of a die cutting machine, and we have our card. As quick and as easy and as simple as that, we've got a card straight away. It's such an unusual shape. You could, oh, do you know what I've just thought? You could add, if you added another one, I've gone completely Christmas now, but if you add another one and then add like a little tab but there just to join that side, and a tab there to just so you've got 4 of them, so it's like that. Doesn't it look like a lantern? Oh, she's saying no. She doesn't agree with me. Bunny. And look, you could even, if you folded them, you could glue them together like that. So that's how the base would be. So you'd have a complete base, and then you could add another one there, another one there. You've got your window, put your tiny lights around the inside, and then Christmassy at the front. I'm getting there with her. She's kind of coming round. Right, let's put this back the way it's supposed to, right there. Right, it's okay. So we're going autumn for this one. Let's grab some of our perfect papers. So we've got the warm welcome perfect papers. I'm going in with that lovely burgundy dark red colour. It's such a lovely colourway. So I've got the gingham check style one to start off with, and that's going to be our first mat that goes down. So we're using the dies from the card shape. You're not going in and trying to measure any of these out. The dies for all of these mats and layers are in there for you. So that's going to go on there. This one's going there. And then next one is going to go in. Oh, so Bunny's just said you could also snip the bit there and bit there, so you could just have this bit. That's a good idea. And then I'm going to go in with some foam tape, and I'm going to add these. So it's the same colour from the perfect papers, but that is the solid. So you can see what that colour is. It's like a perfect autumn colour, that is, isn't it? I don't know why, but if I see that colour, that's just like, that's an autumn colour. That is going to go on there. Oh, Bunny's asking if any of you want to message in. Let us know if you've ordered yours. We did get messages in the earlier shows, didn't we? That some people theirs had been dispatched, ready to go. So Very exciting. And then I'm going to do the check on the bottom as well. So I've done the same metal layers, same colourway on the base as well. So add that on there. And then our last, well, our top layer is going to be the lovely cream from, again, from the Perfect Papers. So we've used that there, so you can see the Perfect Papers are there, 250910 if you want to get that. They're on that show price for you, $14.99, but obviously if you're adding those in with the bundle, you will get, that'll go into your free P&P. So make the most, I always say it, but make the most of your free P&P. Have a look if you need any glue, pokey tool, pin flare, tiny lights, cut tidy, pro paper, anything at all. Right, now I've added those on, I've added the cream. I'm just going to add in some tape quickly onto the bottom part. So it's going to be the same colourway as is on the top. And then let's do this one as well. I've got that there. So add that in. Oh, look at that. I measured that perfectly. And now I've got one ready, Bunny. I am on the ball today. I'm naming dies. I've got my glue organised. No, never. Never. So if you missed it in the earlier show, me and Dave had the same idea about bringing another die in with one of the demos that I made. Young at heart. And Bunny was going to have a look on the website to see what the die was called, and I remembered the name of the die. Now I have a very short memory, so I was so impressed with myself that I remembered the name of this die, and yeah, I'm never going to let Bunny ever forget that I remembered the name of the die. You know, I forget what day it is, like most days, but I remembered the name of the die. Yeah, which I think it worked out quite well. Right, so we've done the matte layers. So now when we stand this up, that is just going to stand up like that perfectly. Now you can see in the spine, you've got two little gap lines there. So you've got two little cut lines. Now that is for these. So you can see you've got those two panels there. They are going to just fit in there. So that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the front of these. And then I am going to tuck those in like that. And then if I turn that around, just hold those tabs, so you can see the tabs are there. Just hold them there for a minute, just to make sure that grabs, because that bit, you don't want that to come off. There you go, so we've got that bit, so we've got our spine there like that. So the next thing then we're going to do is add in the sentiment. Now, like I said, that sentiment has got that line on there, so you can just stick that on there, and that line you can see fits perfectly over that line. Oh, thanks, Bunny. Oh, look! What's going on? Do you know what it is? I think it's because well, maybe it's because it's getting cold outside and then it's warm in here. The glue doesn't know what to do. Right, so I am going to add in some glue down to that last panel. So I'm going to just pop some glue along this top line. So let's add this in. And then I'm going to add the mat onto here. So when you're adding the mat in, just bear in mind that obviously this bit is going to stand up. So you need to make sure that that doesn't come down past that point. And I want this one to kind of stand out a bit. So I'm kind of putting it up a bit higher than what I need to really. But I want it to really stand out. And then let's grab the sentiment, so we'll put this on while we're here. So you've got wonderful. Now this one, and so you've got wonderful with cheer and fine friend. You can add these into your other sentiments as well. They are lovely. It's lovely wording that you could bring your clean and simple stamps in with. So you could have like wonderful day, wonderful birthday. You can mix in some of your other sentiments. I think was it Pam who she added a day in to it. So she had like a little day stamp that she'd cut out from something to add in. So you could really mix these up with some smaller sentiments as well if you wanted to add in, you know, something particular. But I think they're just lovely general sentiments, especially, you know, if you make and sell, you could even pop these on and then you could add in maybe an insert or something if they wanted like a specific sentiment on there. So I think these are lovely, especially as well if you do memory books, scrapbooking, journaling or home decor. Right, so we've got that. Now that in that colourway, doesn't that just pop like that on craft card? Right. It looks really nice, doesn't it? So we're going to come in now. So I'm going to add in some of our flowers. And I'm going to tuck these around this wording. So let's turn this like that. And I'm going to add this one first. So that is going to go there. So I'm just going to put some glue on that. And that is going to go there. And then this one is going to go there. So let's just add some along here. If you do something like this, you can always wipe away. Don't be afraid to just wipe away that glue. That's going to go there. And then the same here, just add a little bit just on the bottom bit of that, and that is going to sit there like that. So I've got my florals going along the edge of there. And then on this side, we're going to carry that on. So I want these flowers to kind of be here. So when that lifts up, you've got flowers on the top and on the bottom. So let's grab some pin flare. So I'm going to add this one to start off with along there. And then I've got another one of them, and can you see where I've just cut that away? So just snip them in half. Don't be afraid to go in and just snip into them, because you're just following the cut lines that are already there. You're not going in and doing anything that isn't there already. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this one under there like that, so that looks as if that carries on. And then this one I'm going to add this in, but I'm going to put it there like that, and then add, now because I've got some of this that's coming out this way, I need to have the same going that way, so I'm gonna add that in there. And then I've got some of those flourishes. I think I've used these on every demo that I've done so far. I'm going to tuck that in there behind there, just so I've got some foliage coming around like I have on there. And then I'm going to add some red. And then just go in and add some decoupage with these, because you can make these look so 3D and add so much dimension onto these. You've got all of the different florals to go in and build these up, which just adds so much detail to your project. I'm gonna add one in there like that, and then no, I'm gonna add a bit more there, just to add a bit more green there. So I just fold those up, and then if I lift that up, that will, oh, is that going to stay up? So that one using the flowers, but you could do the exact same card now, but instead of using the flowers, you could use the mushrooms and the tree, or then you could use the squirrel and just put some foliage behind there. So you've got so much different options, because it's giving you your layout ready. It's giving you that unique card design and that shape, so you don't have to go in and do all the hard thinking. You're going to have a really unusual card shape that you can just go in and have fun playing around with the composition, which is what we like to do. So you can see there. So that one is from the Dorsal card shape. So you can see how we use the flowers that you get in the collection there, with the elegant words in there as well. The flourish. There's so many tongue twisters, I feel, in this one. Right, let's get another demo done, shall we? So for this one, we're going to use the Triptych mirror card shape. I said it! So we're going to use this. Now look, this is cut in white. You can see how detailed the edges of these are. They look absolutely stunning. Now there's nothing stopping you using that on its own. Oh, you can make a box out of this. Oh, she got in there before me. Well, rude. Yeah, to be fair. So you could use this, cut the apertures. So snip those away to make them into apertures. Add another one on there. So you're going to get glue this side to that side, and then make it into a box. That would look good, wouldn't it, for Christmas? Because essentially all you'd have to do then is make like a little box, like a base to put inside. Oh, I feel like we should do that. we'll try and do tomorrow, because then I'll cut one out ready. So let's make this one. Now I'm using the Perfect Papers for the mats. So I'm going to add the matte and layers on here. So you've got this one, I'm using the lovely green that you can see there. This one has got that dainty daisy design. You've also got that check design in there as well. So you've got two different patterns in there to choose from. So I thought this with those little daisies in white, I just thought looked so pretty. So we're going to go in with these and add these on. I'm just going to add some tape to those back layers just to add a bit of height from the back of the card base. But do you know what that's made me think of as well? Like, and I don't know why, because I feel like obviously the name of the die kind of gives it away. But if you just used one, and you could cut this bit out in mirror card and stick that on it, it does really look like a mirror. But obviously, like, it's called mirror card shape, but I don't know why. Like now I'm like, oh, it does look like a mirror. Oh, that's such a good idea, Bunny. So Bunny just said you could cut, so like I just said about cutting and adding mirror card in, and then Bunny's just said you could put mirror card in there and then have the bride next to it, so it looks as if she's looking into the mirror. Oh, that's such a good idea. Oh, we're on the ball today, Bunny. Yeah, maybe me and Bunny have had one too many cups of coffee. But I would say chocolate, but we haven't had chocolate either. Don't know what it is. It's I was going to say it's that Monday feeling, but it's not even Monday. The Tuesday. Right, let's add the next one in. Oh, we've had a message off Amelia saying hello to all the carnation. Hello, Amelia. And hers has been dispatched. She will have lots of fun tomorrow. Wow, lovely collection, beautiful colours. Oh, thank you, Amelia, so much for messaging in, and have fun tomorrow. Make sure you message us tomorrow to let us know if it's come, because you can craft with us tomorrow, because we will have 3 shows tomorrow as well, so you can come in and craft with us. Right, so this one, so I've done the mats and I've added the layers in, so just using the dies, added them into there. Now I've got the tree, so this is from Branching Out, and I'm going to place this just at the bottom there, so this is going to go on the inside. So I'm just going to grab some glue and we're going to add this in. So I'm just going to add a bit of glue onto here, and that is gonna just go there along the edge. Now what I'm going to do with this, I am going to, this is going to look a bit funny before it looks better, so I'm going to just cut this. I'm going to just cut that branch down a little bit, and I'm going to stick this there like that, and then I've got another one. Okay, and then beauty of the mirrored vignettes, so we can just flip that round, and then that is gonna go there like that, and then we are gonna mix in our leaves. Now I'm using the green for this, and I am gonna kind of build these all around those branches. I'm just gonna add some pinflower in where you need it, and just add them around the tree. You could add couples onto this. You can imagine like a, just like a, oh, do you know what you could do? You could add like, do you know those like hearts where you like cut the initials in? That's like a proper old thing. Oh, well, as long as it's your tree. I'm going to tuck that in there like that. Right, so we've got a nice bit of leaves in there, and then I'm going to pop in the birdhouse. And I'm going to put that, I'm going to kind of tuck that like that so you can't see the top bit of it, so it looks like it's kind of, I love that. I think that this is so cute. It is so detailed, and we're going to come in with, right, I think I'm going to add our sentiment in next. No. Right, let me glue these together. So what I'm going to do, because this is going to sit on the bottom, so I've cut out 2 of the mats for this. So I'm going to just stick those together because I want this to be quite sturdy. And I'll explain why in a mo. But this is essentially going to sit right on the bottom of our card. So that's going to go kind of like right across the bottom there. So I'm just going to leave that there for a second, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some of those flourishes. Okay, now these are, I don't know what the exact word is for what they are, but they are supposed to be like, they hang, like, are they supposed to be like vines or moss that will hang just greenery? But I also think you could use them the other way as well. So you could use them this way, so look, and that's what I'm going to do with these. Okay, so I'm going to just pop these in. So these are going to be perfect as well, just to add in, don't like this card now, just to add some colour in, because that now already just brings that green in a lot more. So just add in that pop of colour. Now this one I'm just going to slightly cut down and put a little blob of glue there. That's going to go there, and then I've got another one that I'm going to keep this one long. That is going to go, I need to straighten that up first. That is going to go there like that. Right, so I've got that, which looks a bit wild at the minute. So that's there. And then I've got, so again, those flourishes. I've got lots of little pieces now, okay, from there. And all I'm going to do now is just go in and essentially build up all of these elements around the base of here. So that in there. That in there. So just go in, and I think this is one of the ones you will find that you probably end up cutting out the most, because you won't realise how much you actually use of this, because it is such a usable one that, like I said, so many collections, florals, scene building, that you will tuck this in with. So now that's going to sit along the bottom there. Let's grab our sentiment. So I'm just going to add this in next before I tuck anything else in. Oh, Audrey Brown has also messaged in to say hers has been dispatched. So tomorrow will be a card making afternoon. Oh, well, have fun. And if you are crafting in the afternoon tomorrow, you could join us for the DT showcase, because that'll be in the afternoon, and you can let us know what you think of the collection. Because I always think it looks so much better, even though, you know, we show you so much and we show you the samples and everything, but you know, when you see the artwork yourself and you actually cut them out yourself and you see all the detail in the die, in all the cut lines, it just, there's nothing that can show you how amazing they look until you cut them out yourself and you see them with your own eyes. So that is going to go there like that. And then I've got my little squirrel, look. He's so cute. So we're going to add him in. And I think we're going to add him, I think we're going to tuck him for that, kind of in the middle. I'm just going to put a blob of glue on there, and I'm going to kind of tuck him so he's kind of nestled in there. And then I'm just going to add in a few little flourishes around just to finish that off. I've also got the decoupage acorn here, so I'm going to add that on there, really give those acorns that 3D effect. And then I'm going to add that in there like that. And then I've also got one of those leafed branches, and I've just cut that in half. So I'm going to add this one there, and then I'm going to add this one over here like that. And then if I carefully lift that up, ooh, it's not going to stay. That is what that will look like. How long we got? Give me 1 sec, let me look for one that is a card, and we'll try and squeeze in another one. But you can see our new collection. What will be 55? No. Oh, how much of the stock has gone with this? 35% of the complete collection and 55 of the Triptych mirror card shape has gone. So it has been a very popular collection, which I'm not surprised. There's so much in there, and it's so usable in its own right as well when you break down the elements and have a look at how each one will go. And like Dave was saying earlier, I feel like the autumn theme as well is not something that we see that often in card making. So great for those autumn birthdays that you might be celebrating. Right, let's squeeze in one more card. So I've got some craft card, and I've got my card base. So this is just my A4 card folded in half to give me my card base. And then I'm going in with my craft card. That's going to go on there. And then my perfect papers. So in that lovely green shade for this one with that gingham style. So you can see there, the perfect papers are 250910 if you want to grab them. They are going to work obviously perfectly with the collection. If you are just an autumn, you love the autumn colours though, because I think the first thing me and Bunny said when we seen these was just we loved the colourways of these. They're so lovely. It's such a lovely colour palette to get anyway, but obviously it is going to work perfectly with the A Warm Welcome collection. It is really started. This week was I can't remember what day it was, but back home it's more or less rained all week. And there was one day this week that I really debated, do I put the heating on? And like last week, it was absolutely boiling. And then this week, I can't remember what day it was, but it was raining, it was really windy, and it was so cold, and I was really debating, am I going to put the heating on? Because if I put the heating on, like there's no going back. It's like the heating has been put on. But I did put it off. But yeah, it's you can feel the weather's turning, can't you? You can feel like the cold in the air. So it's an excuse to just stay inside and craft all day, not go out, just have fun crafting away. So let's add this in. So I've got Fine Friend for this one. So this one I've cut out in the Perfect Papers again, but I've used the same green, but I've used the solid colour on this one. So I'm just going to add some glue around here. So let me just grab the a little bit too much there. Spread that a bit. Right, so let's add that on there like that. Now these sentiments, so my thought process with this card is I think these sentiments are such a lovely side, but I also think they're so detailed that these could be the focal points of your projects on their own. They're just really, really lovely. So that was kind of my thinking with this. So this is going to sit, this is essentially going to be my grounding element for my card. So this is going to sit along the bottom of that white space. So I've kind of, like, this is the only space that I'm kind of focused on. And then I'm going to add my pin flare so I can lift this and move it around. And I'm going to pop that sentiment along the bottom like so. Okay. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab some of these elements. Now I've got the moss, vines, grass, whatever you want to use them as. And I'm just going to snip that down to make that a bit shorter. You could equally snip into them that way as well. So if you want to spread them out a bit and use them like that, so you could cut it in half and use different elements of them. I am going to add this in about there. And then I've also got the Forager's Bounty. Now you can see, look, I have snipped into it, so I've cut that bit on the bottom, then the middle and the top, so you can easily go in and snip into these in different ways depending on how you're going to use them. Use them in lots of different ways. Always get snippability with carnation. So I'm going to add that there. I'm going to add this there. And then before I add anything else, I'm going to add some bits into the background. So I'm going to add that in there. Oh, stuck on something. So that's going to go there. I've got this then. I'm going to tack that in behind. So that's going to go there, and then can you guess who is going to go right there? He is very, very cute. He's getting ready to hibernate. Do squirrels hibernate? I think so, but when I said it, I was like, oh, do they? I feel like they do, but I'm doubting myself. And I'm going to add some more. And then I'm going to add this one. Oh, they do. I told you. As soon as I said, I was like, oh, I don't think they do. So squirrels do not hibernate. They are active all year round. Oh, and they survive the winter months by storing food underground. Wow. Every day is a school day. We have learned something today. Well, maybe that's why you just don't see them then. So they stay at home in the warm. So you just assume that they hibernate. Well, there you go. Right, and I'm just going to add one little more there. But this, I think that looks so detailed, so effective. Look how much depth you can get in there, just adding in. So essentially I've used obviously the sentiment, but then everything on there is the forager's bounty for the mushrooms, the florist's flourishes is essentially all of that, and then we've got a light snack in the center. So you can build up so much with that set on its own. That's why I think that one set on its own, you are going to use so much. You will bring it in with so many collections that you have already. It is just such a usable one. But you can just have fun with these, can't you? And that's the lovely thing with these. It takes that worry away. Everything works so perfectly together that you don't need to, think about things too much. You can just place things there. Everything works so lovely together. It's just a really fun. Was it Pam? I think it was Pam that from our DT messaging saying that she'd had so much fun making design team cards with this, and it really is such an easy collection to use because everything just works so well together. Well, thank you so much if you joined us for our shows today. Obviously that one with me and the two earlier with me and Dave. Now, me and Bunny will be back tomorrow, so we'll have a show at 10 and 12, and then we'll have the DT showcase at 2. So if you have bought your collection, if you've got your dispatch email, maybe you can craft along with us in that, because we will be making 3 of the design team cards, or if there's anything you want me to do in the first 2 shows, if you've got any questions, anything at all, Bunny will be there to read out your questions or queries or anything at all. So hopefully you will have a lovely rest of your evening and come back and join me and Bunny tomorrow. Bye.